वेलकम टू द चैनल एवरीवन। इस वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं डिडक्शन अंडर सेक्शन 80 डबल जे डबल ए के बारे में। Deduction in respect of employment of new employees, quantum and period of deduction, कितनी अमाउंट की डिडक्शन एंड कितने पीरियड तक ये डिडक्शन अवेलेबल रहेगी। Where the gross total income of an assessee to whom section 44AB applies, यानी कि जिसे टैक्स ऑडिट एप्लीकेबल हो, includes any profits and gains derived from business. A deduction of an amount equal to 30% of additional employee cost incurred in course of such business in the previous year would be allowed for 3 assessment years, including the assessment year relevant to the previous year in which such employment is provided. यानी कि जिस असेसमेंट ईयर में एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोवाइड किया गया है उसे इंक्लूड करते हुए 3 असेसमेंट ईयर तक डिडक्शन अवेलेबल होगी ऑफ 30% ऑफ एडिशनल एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट की। Conditions to be fulfilled. The deduction would be allowed only subject to fulfillment of following conditions. यानी कि ये conditions पूरी होने पर ही सेक्शन 80 डबल जे डबल ए में deductions available होंगी। The business should not be formed by splitting up or the reconstruction of an existing business. यानी जिस business के रिस्पेक्ट में हम ये डिडक्शन लेने वाले हैं वो बिजनेस स्प्लिटिंग अप से फॉर्म नहीं हुआ होना चाहिए and should not be an reconstruction of an existing business. Second condition is the business is not acquired by the assessee by way of transfer from any other person or as a result of any business reorganization. जो भी बिजनेस है वो असेसी के पास किसी अदर पर्सन से ट्रांसफ़र होकर नहीं आया हुआ होना चाहिए या फिर कोई बिजनेस रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन का रिजल्ट नहीं होना चाहिए वो बिजनेस। थर्ड कंडीशन इज द रिपोर्ट ऑफ द अकाउंटेंट गिविंग द प्रिस्क्राइब्ड पर्टिकुलर्स हैज़ टू बी फर्निश्ड अलॉन्ग विद रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम। मीनिंग ऑफ सर्टेन टर्म्स। एडिशनल एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट क्या होता है? टोटल एमोल्यूमेंट्स पेड और पेबल टू एडिशनल एम्प्लॉयज एम्प्लॉयड ड्यूरिंग द प्रीवियस ईयर। In case of an existing business, additional employee cost shall be nil if there is no increase in the number of employees from the total number of employees employed as on the last day of the preceding year. I think अगर एडिशनल एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट इन केस ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग बिजनेस नील होगी अगर उस असेसी की टोटल नंबर ऑफ जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं उसमें इंक्रीज ना हुआ हो फ्रॉम द लास्ट डे ऑफ प्रीसीडिंग ईयर। And second is additional employee cost shall be nil if emoluments are paid otherwise than by an account pay check or account pay bank draft or by use of electronic clearing system through a bank account. अगर assessee अपने employees को emoluments अदरवाइज देन मतलब कैश में देता हो दैट्स इट दैट इज अदरवाइज देन बाय एन अकाउंट पे चेक और अकाउंट पे बैंक ड्राफ्ट और बाय यूज ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक क्लियरिंग सिस्टम। In the first year of a new business, additional employee cost क्या होगी? The emoluments paid or payable to employees employed during that previous year shall be deemed to be the additional employee cost. Additional employee का क्या meaning होगा? An employee who has been employed during the previous year and whose employment has the effect of increasing the total number of employees employed by the employer as on the last day of the preceding year. Exclusions from the definition of additional employee. एडिशनल एम्प्लॉय में कौन कौन इंक्लूड नहीं होगा? एन एम्प्लॉय हुज टोटल एमोल्यूमेंट्स आर मोर देन 25,000 per month or an employee for whom the entire contribution is paid by the government under the employee's pension scheme notified in notified in accordance with the provisions of Employees Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952, or an employee employed for a period of less than 240 days during the previous year shall also be excluded from the definition of additional employee. Well, in case of an assessee engaged in the business of manufacturing of apparel, footwear, leather products, an employee employed for a period of less than 150 days during the previous year would also be excluded from the definition of additional employee, or an employee who does not participate in the recognized provident fund would also be excluded from the definition of additional employee. Note: if an employee is employed during the previous year for less than 240 days or 150 days, as the case may be, but is employed for a period of 240 days or 150 days, as the case may be, in the immediately succeeding year, then he shall be deemed to have been employed in the succeeding year. Accordingly, the employer would be entitled to deduction of 30% of additional employee cost of such employees in the succeeding year. For example, if कोई एम्प्लॉय प्रीवियस ईयर में लेस देन 240 डेज और 150 डेज एम्प्लॉयड है, तो बट नेक्स्ट इमीडिएटली सक्सीडिंग ईयर में अगर वो फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 240 डेज और 150 days employed है, then he shall be deemed to have been employed in the succeeding year only. Then accordingly the employer would be entitled to deduction of 30% of additional employee cost of such employees in the succeeding year. Emoluments का क्या मीनिंग है? Any sum paid or payable to an employee in lieu of his employment by whatever name called. Then exclusions from the definition: any contribution paid or payable by the employer to any pension fund, provident fund, or any other fund for the benefit of the employee under any law for the time being in force shall be excluded from the definition of emoluments. And any lump sum payment paid or payable to an employee at the time of termination of his service or superannuation or voluntary retirement, such as gratuity, severance pay, leave encashment, voluntary retrenchment benefits, commutation of pension, and the like. Thanks for watching, and like, share, subscribe to our channel.